Hi, Dove. Hi, Kim.
Hi.
Nice to see you.
I thought maybe I had the wrong Zoom.
No, you were early today.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah. How's Happy?
Happy, he wants to get into the act. He was already standing on his hind legs trying to peek.
Can you lift him up?
What?
Can you lift him up so I can see him?
This very second he's eating. So
Oh.
I'm gonna let him eat only because
Sure.
it's not easy. It's not easy getting Happy to eat. Let me
Is
tell
that
you.
right? Doesn't eat as much anymore?
He's just a picky eater.
Oh.
Sometimes he likes something and the next day he turns his nose up.
Hi, John.
I don't think I welcomed Karen Carruthers.
It's Karen and Rich.
Karen Rich. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I saw Rich.
Okay.
I did say hello.
Oh, good. They're usually eating dinner now, but we're happy to have them in any form.
Hi, John. So do you want the good news now?
Yeah.
We're probably not going to have spring forward and fall back anymore. It's going to be the same time all year long.
When will that happen?
Now.
I mean, it hasn't passed yet, has it?
Well, I heard it's going to pass unanimously, that everyone's going to vote for it.
Wonderful. God, we haven't voted everybody for anything in a
That's
long.
right. That's right. Amazing. Everyone voting the same way.
Wow. Yeah, that'd be great.
That's the good news.
I like it.
And the other good news is we're not going to fall into temptation anymore, right? Hey, Rafi.
Hi.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I'm going to start off with a prayer, which is the one that John Mundy ends all of his seminars.
All right.
There's a Lord's Prayer in the Course of Miracles.
Hi, John. Hi.
Chapter 16, section 8.
All right.
Let us not wander into temptation, for the temptation of the Son of God is not your will.
The Son of God is not what?
For the temptation of the Son of God is not your will.
Your will.
Let us receive only what you have given and accept but this into our minds, which you created and which you love as one. Amen.
Hey, Dove, what is the definition of temptation from the Course of Miracles?
That's what we're going to be talking about tonight.
Oh. That's good.
Yeah. That's why we're going to be reading it. The word fantasy, which is our topic tonight, I have no need for fantasies anymore. It's not a word that we use a lot. We use the word illusion a lot. And I looked it up. Fantasy is mentioned 75 times in A Course in Miracles. And illusion is mentioned 745 times, 10 times more illusion. But illusion and the fantasy is the same. But it came to me after doing the course for 40 years that the word illusion doesn't translate. It just doesn't seem to. Hi, Kathy. I love word illusion. It's like, it's going to a magic show. It's an illusion. Somehow I don't see myself entering into illusion. But I realize that all my problems is I enter into fantasies. And that's what we're going to be talking about.
Hi, Carol. Welcome.
Hi. All right.
Hi, Kazi. Hi.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Wonder what he's cooking.
Can
Was that
we have some?
No, no.
That's the sign of a son of God, one who shares with all equally.
You can tape it. But don't bother. No,
It's happy.
Oh, let's see. Oh, there you go.
He says, I ate my entire plate tonight. Wow, wow, wow. He's doing good. And he's Irish. He had corned beef tonight.
No way. Does he get people food? Hi,
What?
Franca.
Oh, it definitely gets people food. Definitely gets people food. He gets cucumbers tonight, broccoli, cucumbers, corned beef.
Do the two of you eat the same?
Sometimes. And he has sour cream. That's his dessert.
How about a shamrock? Do you give me a shamrock?
Shamrock? No, I was thinking of giving him some cabbage, but I had the cabbage.
Very sweet.
My wife and I used to have a annual tradition of corned beef and cabbage every St. Patrick's Day. And I realized that I'm OCD on it. I just do it compulsively. And I don't normally eat meat. But, there's exceptions to everything, right? No, there are no exceptions in God. That's what tonight's about. There's no exception.
So does Happy get meat even when you don't get meat?
And Happy has to have meat. As a dog, he has to have meat.
Yeah.
I mean, well, I give him some form of meat, It could be chicken, it could be turkey.
Hi, Robin. Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, and I give him these things that are treats that are almost always turkey or beef, something like that. They're treats.
Hi, Diane.
Okay, we're about that time.
All righty, you want to welcome up?
Sure.
Oh, wait, did you, we are.
I think that you recorded. You start to record already.
Okay, so people are going to get
You did. It asked when we came in.
10 minutes of chit chat and what Happy's eating and,
You didn't turn it off, did you?
oh, they get to hear all of what Happy's eating and all of that.
Okay, well. Okay, actually, if you're laughing at anything in this world, you're already awake. I mean, if you take anything seriously, you're still asleep. So it's okay to laugh. All right, welcome everybody. It's another wonderful evening at Join Us Tuesdays for Present Happiness, and we all know that that's where happiness is. It's in the present, because it's certainly not in time. Time is the pursuit of happiness. The Declaration of Independence says, you can pursue happiness, but that's what the fantasies are about, and that's what tonight's topic is about. I have no need for fantasies anymore. Okay. I see Lynn here. I know that Lynn's begun to go to John Mundy. Last week, I think it was Karen who wanted the John Mundy link, and I didn't have it in time, but I hope to put it up if someone wants it. He's on right after us. Why does John Mundy come up to my mind right now? Well, if you ever go to John Mundy's seminars, and I know a few of you do, he always ends with the Course in Miracles version of the Lord's Prayer. And we're going to start with the Course in Miracles version of the Lord's Prayer because it leads perfectly into tonight's topic about fantasy. It says, and this comes from chapter 16, chapter 16, section 7, paragraph 12. And it says, forgive us our illusions, Father, and help us to accept our true relationship with you in which there are no illusions, in which there are no fantasies, and where none can ever enter. Our holiness is yours. What can there be in us that needs forgiveness when yours is already perfect? The sleep of forgetfulness is only the unwillingness to remember your forgiveness and your love. Let us not wander into temptation, for the temptation of the Son of God is not your will. And let us receive only what you have given and accept but this into the minds which you have created and which you love. Amen. Amen. And wherever you saw the word illusions there, you could put in the word temptations because you can put in the word fantasy because an illusion and a fantasy is identical. They aren't similar. They are identical. It's something that you choose to do that's not real. And the closest lesson that this topic comes to is lesson 130. And some of you know lesson 130, and I'm going to just mention lesson 130. It's impossible to be in two different worlds. The word impossible is the key word. Two different worlds? Well, Jesus tells you over and over, there's the world of love, in which all are loved equally. And then there's the world of illusion, where some seem to have more than others, some seem to have less than others, and everyone is trying to get so that they have more. And more, of course, is the greatest illusion of all, since we are all equal in the mind of God, in the one mind of God. I'm going to put that thing up one more time in case you came in late. And that is what we were reading from. That's called the Lord's Prayer in A Course in Miracles, chapter 16, section 7. So it came to me, the word illusions has been around for, since I've been doing the course, and it doesn't really strike a bell in me, well, an illusion means maybe it's a mirage, it's hallucination, maybe it's there, maybe it's not there, but it doesn't really speak to me in a way in which I say, wait, no more. And that's what came to me just yesterday, is all of the things that go on in my life that are problems that I need forgiveness for. It's always because I have been drawn into, you might say, well, no, Dave, you weren't drawn into it. Yeah, I was tempted. I enjoy fantasy. Now, we all have fantasies. You can call it OCD, things that you do as an addiction that, you don't even know you're doing it when you're doing it because it's a ritual. You've always been doing it. And, we all have our own thing. Some of mine are really about sensuality, the body, and sexuality. Some people have things on food and binges and working out with the body and making the body look good. And, so everyone has something going on, those are fantasies, literally meaning that it's a world of illusion, because when he says, I am not a body, he's not kidding. And then he says, I am free. We think that we're free. We think that we're free to do anything that we want because, hey, after all, hey, I pay my taxes, I pay my rent, and I deserve to be able to enjoy myself any way I want, right? Well, that's not quite right. He says, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? Choose one. And all the things I enter into where later I turn out to be not so happy, and I keep saying to myself, Dove, there you go again. You're doing the same thing all over again. And it came to me, yeah, I enjoy fantasy. And I never made that wrong. And it's not wrong. There's no wrong, right or wrong, but it leads nowhere. That's what a fantasy is. I mean, when we use the word dream, and I didn't look up the word dream, so maybe someone could look it up now, but I think dream is used 1,000 times. The word illusions is used 1,100 times. The word illusion is used 750 times. Ego is used 1,100 times, but all of those words are the same. Ego is an illusion, is a fantasy. And the ego is the fantasy that says, it's okay, Dove. You paid your taxes, you paid your rent, you're entitled. No, I'm only entitled to miracles. And what is the opposite of a miracle? The body's belief that it can be separate and get a divorce from its eternal marriage with God. And I'm just going to stop there. Are there any thoughts at all that comes up for anybody after I just said that? None whatsoever, huh? Okay.
Well, let me say what came up for me then, Duff.
Okay, yeah.
Like for me, when you say fantasy, it's like a learning thing. It's like a Santa Claus story. So there is a phase in a person's life when it's very necessary, and it's the basis of knowledge to start with a fantastic story that leads you into a theoretical story, so that leads you into a truthful story or a factual story. So I wouldn't throw the baby out with the bathwater. I think there is a phase where in consciousness, fantasy is a very necessary aspect of knowledge acquisition. So that's what came to me. And the other thing that came to me, I love what my philosophy teachers tell me. The two biggest things we all think about is sex and digestion. That's what occupies most of our energy. So I don't know how true it is, but it's all fantasy. That's totally body stuff. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I totally accept what you said. And you gave me a thought that I think, go ahead, Rafi.
Well, when you said ego as fantasy, it took away any imagined power that ego could possibly have. Because you can have fantasy anytime you want. I mean, when you were young, you have sexual fantasies, you have fantasies about going on vacation. You have all kinds of fantasies. You know they're fantasies. But when you label ego as fantasy, it's just another one of those. And all of a sudden, whatever power it seemed to have even lessens even more.
Okay. Yeah. Well, basically, the Course says the ego is an illusion. Basically, it's not real, but because we believe in time, and the Course does say time is the vast illusion, and for sure, time and space belongs to the ego's world. Stepping back, let's look at a bigger picture of the word fantasy. The world is a fantasy. If you went to Disney World and, once you paid your admission and you had you can go on any ride you want, you got to pick which ride you want. And, if you ever been to Disneyland or Disney World, you know that's, a whole a whole day's
And
journey. That's what this world is. You enter into this fantasy world in which there seems to be, oh my God, I like this, I like that, I want this, I want that. And that's what dreams are made of. And the Course is very clear. We are the dreamer of the dream. We're the cause of what we see and what we think we want because we actually believe that we lack. I'm going to put something up on the board, which is the idea that came to me when this first came to me. I think, as a matter of fact, I had said to Rosalind, we're going to call it tonight, forgiveness and fearlessness. And then I think it was around 9 o'clock today. I said, no, stop the press. We're going to call it, I have no need for fantasy, because, forgiveness and fearlessness, those are nice words and they're concepts, but they come when when you're really letting go of your fantasy. So let's take a look. This is what I came up with. What do I believe in? The love of union. And the word union is very clear word for me because, the word truth is something that we all love, the truth. I mean, and truth will set you free, and truth will correct all the errors of your mind. But what is truth? There happens to be a 3-word sentence in the Course in Miracles. So whenever Jesus gives you a 3-word sentence, he's giving you an equation. This equals that. And it says truth is union, which is oneness, which is sameness. There are no differences in oneness, sameness, equality. Truth is union. So I say, what do I want to believe in? The love of union or the world's fantasy? Choose one. You can't have both. The fantasy of a divorce. I know that's a crazy word to use, but what is a divorce but a separation? Or the eternal marriage with God. And that brings up that lesson that I mentioned. Closest lesson to tonight is lesson 130. It's impossible to be in 2 different worlds. Either one is real and the other is not. Which one you're going to choose? And, I think, listening to Ken Wapnick many moons ago, someone asked him about, what could I do to get my young children into the Course in Miracles? And he said, I don't think it's a good idea to have your children do the Course in Miracles. He said, the reason for that is that it's good for young people to go out into the world and find out what the world is like, what the fantasies are like, to come up with a strong ego. Because if it's a weak ego, little namby-pamby, well, I choose this because, no, you want to choose because you realize the other doesn't work. And the only way you're going to, and in the Jewish religion, you're not invited into the Kabbalah until you're 40 years old. So halfway through your lifetime, say you live in 80, they say, okay, you want to hear the other side now? The other side is, it's all mystical. What you believe is true is not true. That's what the Kabbalah is about. You're looking at everything is a metaphor, a symbol. When someone points to the moon, you don't look at the finger, you look at what it's pointing to, as the Buddhists would say. So you're not fooled by the things of this world. You think that everything here is pointing to something beyond this world. Everything here is pointing to something beyond this world. Again, I'm going to stop just to check in. Anyone have any thoughts about anything that's been said so far?
Let's just wait a minute and let everybody have a little space to just let in all of the wisdom that Dove has shared. Let's just give a moment to let our questions percolate, to sift through what he said. You can't be in 2 worlds. What is a fantasy from what he said to you? What is an illusion? Where are you on that? How is this sitting with you?
Okay, I'm going to raise the stakes a bit. You know, he says life only exists in heaven. It doesn't exist in this world. It exists only where God placed it. So we who come to this Disney world, to this fantasy land, you know, think that this is where life is. I love the trees. I love the birds. You know, I love everything about this world. I mean, when you get to lesson 132, which is my birthday lesson, it says, but there is no world. This is the central theme this course teaches. So he's telling you that heaven is the real world. And he tells you what heaven is. Heaven is an awareness of perfect oneness, where all are created equal. There are no differences. Specialness, on the other hand, when you find something special that becomes your fantasy, certainly seems to be better or different than everybody else. And I want that, you know, that's what we know as betrothal, you know, and we do our wedding vows and we disavow all others. So there's nothing wrong with, exactly as John said, don't throw out the baby with the bathwater. You can certainly get married and have children and have family, but sooner or later, you come to a place of recognizing what's it all about. It's always something. It's always something that needs some kind of correction, that needs a problem solved. But he tells you you don't have any problems. And how is that possible? Well, you have problems if you're married to a fantasy, if you have an OCD and you have an addiction. And I would say, to raise the stakes, to raise the bar, maybe you should just go around the room and just ask at this point if you can identify a fantasy in your life that basically you would like to say, I have no need of fantasies, of this fantasy anymore. I have no need of this fantasy anymore. And I would ask Rosalind maybe to lead us on that, since she's really good at this.
Do you want me to lead a meditation or do you want me to share?
Well, I thought you would see who has something they want to share at this point. I'm sharing the fantasy for them, and then lead a meditation.
Okay. Well, I want to, okay, Rico, thank you very much.
Make it easy on you, Ross. Good evening, family and friends.
I
Thank
welcome
you for
you.
allowing me to be here with you this evening. I send you love, light, and well-being from my heart to yours. And I apologize to each and every one of you for being a bit tardy.
Mhm.
Prior to being introduced to our 12-step program, I had a fantasy that involved cocaine, alcohol, and fast women. And I thought I was living the life in New York. We call it the Diamond Lane. And before I knew it, 15 years had gone by. I was homeless, helpless, godless, thoughtless, penniless, and I didn't know what happened. And chasing a fantasy, chasing a dream, chasing something that was not real, and spending hundreds of thousands of dollars chasing this fantasy. And I'm telling you from a looking back experience, this is a reflection. Had I known what I know now, it never would have happened. But I didn't know that I didn't know. And I was in the no God zone. So it was easy for me to get swallowed up. But, you know,
Can you hear me? You hear me? Is anybody else